Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Monday Mindset. Can't believe it's already another Monday. These things come by so quickly, but it's time to get our mindset right. We're going to talk today about stop making excuses. Content is king. Start posting. I want to go over for you just 3 categories of content that I believe you should be posting on your social, give you some tips that we're learning on social media, and most importantly, get our mindset right on how you should even think about social, because so many people aren't doing it correctly, and there's a reason why, and it starts in the mind. But before we do that, I will see you on the other side of this intro.
There are no bad businesses. There are just those people who don't know enough to see the opportunities in the work they're in. If there seems to be no future or opportunity in it, it isn't always because it's not there, but perhaps only because we can't see it.
Welcome to another Monday Mindset. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing Monday so far. It is good to be back. Like I said, man, these Mondays just go by so fast. I feel like we were just in a Monday Mindset, and here we are again. How about them Sixers last night? Anybody watch that game? I had the chance to go to that game. It was my first night out with my wife since having little William. And if you can't tell by my eyes, if they're bloodshot, I mean, we're getting no sleep. Evelyn, maybe this is what happens with your first kid. Evelyn, our daughter, was unbelievable. Like in the first 3 months, we had already moved her to her other room. She was sleeping pretty much mostly through the night. I think getting up one time of the night. This little kid, I call him, he must be me. He's like the devil child. He gets up every hour. I'm not sleeping at all. So who knows what you're going to get on this Monday Mindset when there's no sleep. But I'll tell you what's on my mind this morning. If there's something that irritates me so much when it comes to dealing with people, whether it's my team, even myself, the people that I interact with as our clients, even at my church, is people who make excuses. And I'm sitting there watching the Sixers game, right? And if anybody watched that game, it went down to the last seconds. And you think about it, right? You can be the Celtics and make excuses. You could be the Sixers, make excuses, because there were some crazy calls in that game too from the refs. I mean, especially when I was sitting down there, I was screaming at the refs. You can make excuses, but you can't take excuses to the bank. And here's a quote for you by Malcolm X that really impacted me when I heard it. I think I heard it through Ed Milet first. But Malcolm X says, "That which you do not hate, you will eventually tolerate." And what I love about that saying is basically going, look, you're in control of the things that you lit into your mind. You're in control in the things that you lit into your life. So if you don't hate the things that you don't want to become, if you don't hate the things that you don't want to be, if you don't hate the laziness in you, the lack of discipline in you, the lack of accountability in you, you will tolerate those things. That which you don't hate, you eventually tolerate. And what you tolerate, you become. All of you have probably heard the analogy or the example of the thermostat versus the thermometer. And the thermometer, it tells the temperature, right? And it's just telling you whether it's hot or cold. It's telling you the temperature that it is. And based upon the degrees and the temperature, it's just going to read and go up and down based upon what it's given. The thermostat sets the temperature. You have to set the temperature for your life. You have to be the one that goes in there and sets that temperature for your life. I interviewed Peter Taunton on our Stay Paid podcast. And if you don't know who Peter Taunton is, he created basically the 24-hour gym concept. He was like one of the first guys to create it and has, I think I want to say like 700 gyms around the world. I mean, just an amazing guy, and interviewing him. And one thing he said about setting the standards for his life and for his team of all these people that worked for him was anybody can be a superstar if you set the bar at their ankles. Meaning, don't kill yourself by making people have, or by giving yourself low standards. He says where businesses fail is they set the bar so low, they set the thermostat so low on their life, and they just accept excuse after excuse. I did an all-staff meeting with my staff on Friday, and our numbers aren't trending exactly where we need them to be. And if you go and you look at the quarterly earning reports of competitive companies that are publicly traded in our marketing space, these companies are talking about, well, the real estate market's down, the economy's down here. They're coming up with all these reasons for their shareholders of why they're not on trend to hit the sales numbers they're hitting. And here's what I tell people, that might be true. I told my team, hey, that's probably true. It is true. Look at the numbers. The market is tougher today. We might have to work 10x harder today to close a deal than we did last year at this time. But it does us no good to sit here and justify our trend, to justify where we're at, because in the end, we're going to get the same results. So we might as well go and hold ourselves to the highest standard. And guess what? I tell my team, there's still people, there's still insurance agents, there's still real estate agents, there's still mortgage professionals in this market killing it. And those are the people we want to find. Those are the people that we want to work with. And if we set the bar at our ankles, we will die. If you're not growing, you're dying, as we all know. So that's what's on my mind this morning on the sleepless Luke that you're getting is I'm tired of people making excuses. I'm tired of a victimhood mentality. And I'm also tired of this whole idea of people using, I call it like altruism, as a way to justify their lack of effort and discipline. Have you been hearing this lately where people, they basically tell themselves, you know, they don't want to overwork or they don't want to put in the extra effort because they want this balance in their life, or they feel like they have to pull back and because they don't want to be that person who works all the time. And what I find in that is, no, it's not that you don't want to be the person that works all the time. I can agree with balance. You need balance in your life, sure. What it is you're using that as an excuse, as a justification for why you're not where you need to be. You're using altruism. You're using this higher purpose thing to justify why you're not getting out there and putting in the extra effort. Winners win. If you want to be a winner, if you don't hate the things that you should hate, like the lack of discipline, lack of accountability, you will eventually tolerate it and will eventually become who you are. So all that rant to lead us to posting on social media, getting content out. This doesn't have to be just geared towards social media. It can also be email marketing. It can be any marketing that you're doing. And I wrote the title of this, Stop Making Excuses. Content is king. Get posting. Why is content king? Content king is king because ultimately it's about mind share. And brand is ultimately what matters. And it will continue to matter more and more and more as the convenience economy takes over. What do I mean by that? When we get to the point of ordering stuff just by talking to AI, do you know the only companies that are going to win? The companies that have a brand, that have mind share in their clients and prospects' mind, because when they talk to their Siri, their Alexa, their AI assistant, they're going to talk about to them, hey, order this product or help me set up this. And they're going to mention the brand that they think about. Brand is king and you need to be building it now. And I tell my team, we want to work with the people in this business that want to be here 10 years from now, 15 years from now, that want to build a brand that lasts. I heard Alex Hormozi said, if you want to get rich, do direct response marketing. If you want to get wealthy, build a brand. The Louis Vuittons of the world, right? These massive brands, they do a little bit of direct response, but their business isn't built on direct response. They've built a brand and mind share with people, and people come to use them because of that brand. You need to be getting content out and posting consistently so you have that brand. We all know this. Why don't you do it? You don't do it because you have the wrong mindset. First thing that you have the wrong mindset in is you think that your content needs to be perfect. And that's what keeps us from posting. I mean, even I suffer from this going live on my Instagram, right? I'm thinking to myself, oh, do I know exactly what I want to say? I mean, I'm talking to the insurance syndicate, and a lot of my people that follow me on Instagram are also in other industries. Should I go live? And it's like, those are all excuses that I use to justify not doing the thing that I know I need to do. So nope, I'm going to go live. So if you're not posting, and you're not posting because you hate the way you look, you don't think you're prepared for the content, let me teach you something about getting good at something. It's called repetition. You break down the muscle through repetition and it builds stronger, right? Go watch my first interviews of Stay Paid Podcast. In fact, if you want to laugh, definitely go watch them. Just don't be too cruel in the comments. I go back and I watch from 6 years ago, these Stay Paid podcasts that I was doing. One, I look like a little kid. And two is I was terrible at it, right? Terrible at it. And the only way to get good, frequency creates greatness. The more repetition you put in, the more greatness you'll become. And here's the beautiful thing about social media. If you really hate what you posted, you can take it down. You can literally post up and then take it down. You don't have to leave it up. That's the beautiful thing about social media. But you have an excuse going on in your mind right now that's keeping you from doing the posting. And you're using those excuses to justify. And you know why you're an incredible salesperson and you have no excuse not to be closing at a 90% clip, 100% clip? Because you close yourself every day on your excuses. You close yourself every single day. You're an incredible salesperson. So you got to be posting consistently. And the number one thing that I see holds people back is they don't like the way they sound. They don't like the way they look. They don't think their content is good enough. And I hate to break it to you, that is the way you sound. That is the way you look. And it's not as bad as you think. You're your own worst critic. And what was the saying, right? 80% of people don't care, right? They only care about their own problems, or 90% of people only care about their own problems. And then the 10% of people, they're glad you have those problems. So they definitely don't care. And so why even worry about their opinion? It doesn't matter because they're not going to be at your funeral. They're not even going to be in the credits. Why worry about it? It's like I heard this one time at a speech. They said, we spend our whole life, if you think about the movie, at the end of the movie, the credits go, right? And you have the star actors and the producers and all these names coming in. And then at the very end of the credits, you see the names like cameraman 2, stagehand, all these, subset people that are part of the film. We spend most of our lives worrying about what cameraman 2 thinks. And we dictate what we do in our posting on social media for this example that I'm talking about based upon what cameraman 2 thinks. And they're not even a star in the movie. They're not even important. But we worry so much about what they think that we don't post. Stop making excuses. Content's king. Start posting consistently. Frequency is key. The more frequent you can be out there, the better. Why? Because at this stage of the game, man, everybody's starting to post on social media 24/7. How much noise is in your feed? I bet a ton. And you have to be posting consistently. Stop worrying about the likes. Stop worrying about the views. Right? I want you to get a lot of views. I want you to get a lot of likes. Let's be practical. It is a feedback loop to you. If you're getting no likes and no views, well, then you need to constantly improve. And how do you do this? The easiest way to do this, well, my phone's on live. I was going to grab it and show you. My phone's on Instagram Live right now. The easiest way to do this is go to your feed right now on Instagram and go look at all your posts that you've ever done and look at the ones that have given you the most likes. Your audience is telling you something. Number one rule, and really probably life, but in marketing specifically, is double down on what is working until it stops working, right? So if I run an ad on Facebook, I am going to double down on that ad until it stops producing me return. I don't care if I run the ad for 5 years. As long as it produces me return, I'm going to keep spending. Actually, here's an incredible hack for you guys. If you run Facebook ads, because of the privacy stuff that came out a few years ago at the election and all that stuff that caused that, we can now see everybody's ads, right? So you can go to Facebook ads library. The number one indicator of telling you if an ad works or not is how long it's been running. So if you go to your competition, go spy on your competition, right? And you find another insurance agent that's running Facebook ads or a company that's running Facebook ads, go to the Facebook ad library. You can see the ad that they're running. So you can see the creative, you can see the copy, everything they're doing, and look at the date of how long that ad has been running. Most of the time, not 100% of the time, because some people could just be throwing their money in the garbage. But most of the time, if you see an ad running for a really long time, there's a good chance that ad actually works and produces results. Because why would a business run an ad for a really long time that is not working? So that is a really good hack to think about. So anyways, you need to be posting consistently getting out there and getting your content in front of your audience. What type of content should you be posting? There's so much content to post. I kind of boil it down to 3 categories to help people think about this. I call it the 3 E's of content, and it stands for education, entertainment, and endearment. So education, entertainment, endearment. And in all of these, think about what Gary Vee talks about. He talks about documenting, not creating. So if you're a funny person and have comedy running through you, if you're more of an actor and creator, or maybe an influencer type person, you can probably go to the creator route because you can spend that time. You have that creativity. You like creating storylines. You like coming up with really cool things. Most of us, if you're like me, you can't even draw the stick figure well. So I'm more into the documentation. I'm into more of like going live on my Instagram, why I'm doing an insurance syndicate Monday mindset, because that is truly what I'm doing today. And I want to document for people. What would this be in the content categories in my 3? This would be education, because my topic that my company does is sales and marketing. You guys know I run a marketing company and I work with thousands of small businesses across the country. And I want to put out marketing and sales and business content to raise my credibility, to give back to my community. So why? So people know me. They like me more because I'm giving to them free value. And they trust me more because they hear my ideas. They hear my thoughts. They hear my experience. And they end up wanting to use and partner with me and my products versus maybe my competitors. This is an educational piece of content that I'm posting out there. So education, entertainment, endearment. Breaking those 3 down, the majority of what you're going to be posting most of the time is probably going to be documentation around your educational stuff. So you got to be careful here, because if you go too far education, people are going to tune you out, but it is naturally going to be the thing that you post about the most. What does that mean? So if you're in insurance, whether you're doing Medicare, health, life, whatever you're selling in insurance, you get frequently asked questions around those things constantly. So think of your industry. For those watching me on Instagram Live, you get constantly asked questions all the time. You have things happening in your industry all the time. You have mistakes that people make all the time. You have horror stories that you experience with clients, not your horror story with them, but they had a horror story that you're trying to clean up or help them with. That is great educational content. You want to be putting that content out. You can easily film stories on it. You can create posts on it. Like, I'll give you an idea. One thing that we're doing right now to take like education, but make it more story-based, is we're taking other people's examples. So last week I shared about Red Bull, right? And you can go back and watch it on the YouTube channel. I talked about how Red Bull became the #1 energy company, or energy drink company. I talked about United Airlines losing like $180 million from a business mistake that they made. And I use those stories about brand and how Red Bull positioned themselves, and United, and how they did bad customer service and what that meant for their business, to talk about my educational stuff. So think about you. How can you in your business take stories that are happening in even the news today and tie that into your business? This is a great tip that I learned about breaking down how to document versus creating. Take some time today and write down the storyline of your life. Write down every major event and characteristic about your life. So I'll give you an example of me. Luke Acree, grew up in Virginia, was a pastor's kid. I was homeschooled. There was 8 kids in the family. So I have 7 siblings, 5 boys, 2 girls, kind of crazy, right? These are things about my life, characteristics about my life. So I could put homeschooled to college, loved music, started playing trumpet and guitar at a very early age, 10 years old, was in a band with his brothers all the way up to 20. Like, I would start listing these things out. Met my wife. She went to the church that I went to growing up. My now wife, we didn't get married that young. We dated through high school. Then what do? I take all these. It's great to bullet point them out. Now, when I need a content idea, what do? Oh man, if something on the news is talking about education, I could quickly grab my homeschool thing and go, hey man, you're seeing education all over the news. Let me tell you my education story. I was homeschooled, and then I can tie that in to something in my subject matter. So for me, maybe it could be something simple like, Hey, in business, I believe you have to think about things differently. I was homeschooled, so it gave me a different perspective. I'm going to tell you a lot of things. Some things were rough. Here are the things that were rough. Some things were amazing. It gave me a different perspective on life. I actually love that I was homeschooled, but here's how it really helped me in my business today and how you should think differently in your business. See how I'm tying the storyline of my life to get people to know me more, to like me more, or, people like based upon camaraderie. So people out there that are into homeschooling or into those things would connect with me more. And then I tie it to my business. The person who is a master at this that you want to follow is Grant Cardone. Regardless of what you think about him, some people hate him, some people love him, right? But that guy is incredible at taking things that are happening in his life that he's done on the news, and then he ties it at the end into his business and value proposition that he's trying to put forward. So action item for you, document out the storyline of your life and all those things. When you think about what you're going to post about, what you're going to talk about, go back to those memories and go, what did you learn from that? What could you use in that to tie to your business? Because it gets people to know you more, but it also allows you to talk about your business and bring education or bring your brand to the table. So education, first category, probably be posting about it the most because you need to be the subject matter expert, right? So when people wake up today and they think marketing, I need them to think me. And until all of you think Reminder Media, Luke Acree, when it comes to marketing, if I'm not one or two in your minds, I haven't done a good enough job. And it looks like my camera shut off on me there. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can pull this back up. Might have been overheating there for a second. So there we go. I'm back. So sorry about that on the insurance syndicate. But I want you guys to know that about me, that I'm in sales and marketing. So I need to constantly be in front of you with educational content around sales and marketing. But I can't just do only that because you'll never like me. That's why I'm telling you the key is bring your storyline in, because it's a great way to weave in education with people actually enjoying the story that they're hearing. The second category, though, is entertainment. How do you entertain people, right? And the easiest way to entertain people is to give them valuable information that they can enjoy using. So, our most popular piece of content, I have one on my desk here. We have a customizable magazine. The most popular thing in this customizable magazine are the recipes that come out on these tarot cards. And we've been doing this for over a decade, right? I've sent out 100 million plus of these things. The testimonials we get from these recipe cards would blow your mind. It is incredible. Why is it that a recipe card causes people to want to actually refer or causes people to enjoy your content, enjoy your business? And if my camera keeps shutting off, I apologize about that. I think it might be overheating. So that might be an issue. But the recipe card is so powerful because it's just giving to your audience something that they will enjoy, essence, be entertained by. And because they will enjoy it, they will think of you in a positive light, and you get that positive association with your brand. Entertainment is key. Recipes can be at local events that are going on, can be at things like that. Third is endearment. So this is where you tie in your vision / mission / impact of what you want to give to the world into your marketing and into your content. So what nonprofit are you involved in? Where are you giving back? And if you're not giving back in your business, you need to add that to your business. There's a reason why the Nikes of the world, the Microsofts of the world, these companies, there's a reason why that they always give back to a nonprofit. They want to make sure they get that association of good, and they know that the consumer wants to work with a business of purpose. You need content where you're giving back. We interviewed Shannon Gillette. She's the top 1% real estate agent out there in Arizona. She's unbelievable at producing content. Go follow her on Instagram. We just interviewed her on another podcast, and she shared one of her most successful client events is getting her clients with her in a giving back campaign. They actually take all the foster kids in the area around the holidays, and they get their clients to become buddy shoppers, and they take them, I think, to like the local Walmart, and they buy these foster kids Christmas presents, and the clients are part of the giving back. Think about that. They see her brand in an amazing light, but they get to become part of it. They actually get part of the giving back. I've seen this with food banks. Get your clients part of the giving back with food banks around Thanksgiving. There's the Boys and Girls Club. There's ways that you can get your clients involved, and people want to do business with businesses of purpose, because what do I always say? Like, a life of significance comes to a life of service. So I am going to wrap up there. One is because we're pretty much already at 10:30, and two is my camera keeps shutting off. So I apologize to those who are watching, and it keeps shutting off on you guys. But my action item for you today is stop making excuses, start making content, and get posting, and use the 3 E's of content: education, entertainment, endearment, and start mapping out your life and go, hey, how do I tie my life and my story into these things? Because that's easy. You'll never run out of content. It's who you are, and you're creating more bullet points as you go. A new bullet point for me is I had my son 4 weeks ago. What is it like being a parent of 2 versus being a parent of 1? And it's 10 times harder. I don't know why. We only went up in 1 kid, but it got 10x harder. How do I explain that in business? Well, I'll tell you, in business, when you add a second product, it complicates by 10x. When I added my second product here, from going from just a print magazine to going to digital, it 10x complicated everything. And I realized communication was key for my business. So I could use that story of William and becoming a parent of 2 to doing a social media post about how that also applies to new products that you roll out, and that communication is key when you roll out things to prospects and clients. You see how that works? And now people get to know me more. Hopefully they get to like me more and trust me more and what I'm doing in my advice, and the same can apply to you. All right, let's get out there and win for our clients, our family, ourselves. Let's make it a great day. Happy Monday. Go crush it today, and I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in.